We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. And coming at us again, straight from the Cactus Candy Company, this is the companion to the other Diablo pepper sauce I've done. You can check out the video and the review on the blog for that if you care to do that. But this is the Scorpion hot sauce. It's the Scorpion version of Diablo. Diablo is basically a jalapeno sauce. This is calling it hellishly hot. I feel like I need to call out labels when they do stuff like this, because this, I think I put it around a 2, and it is, I don't honestly think it's challenging. So 3 being the part where I think you start to separate from people who are potential chili heads and the so-called normies, and this is a 2, so it's well under that. I don't think it is super challenging at all to anything like that. So this one's sauces or marinades to enhance your favorite flavors. I don't know about all that. So let's take a look at the panel. We've got water, red jalapeno puree, red jalapeno peppers, citric acid is what's in the puree. We also have a chili mash, which is the scorpion peppers and salt. We have wine vinegar. We have white vinegar, garlic, salt, and xanthan gum. Now, as I mentioned in the review, too much salt. Way too much salt. An annoying amount of salt. And that actually really prohibits me from this. So this isn't a great flavorish sauce. You can see it's basically the same consistency as the other one. I think they use basically just their stock sort of. It does flow nice. It's got this really gorgeous sort of, and there's a little flecks in it. Sort of this red, orangish color. I think it looks really pretty. Now over sauce my spoon. What's funny is you can smell I can smell the scorpions from here. And you definitely get a lot of the scorpion flavor, but very minimal on the heat side of it. And you can see there's little bits and pieces of the spices all throughout that. And so let's just get to the tasting first. Oh, very floral. You get the scorpion peppers right off the bat, and it's the only place the heat's deriving from, but it's very minimal, very flowery. And with a backcurrent of salt. Salty, floury. I'm not getting a lot of the jalapenos. I think the scorpions are sort of overriding that sort of thing, but flavor-wise, like I said, they're very floral. A lot of people call them fruity. They don't feel that way to me. They feel just a little bit more floral, something along the lines of like you might, if you drink beers, like IPAs has very floral notes. I liken scorpions a little bit more to that. And it's not a bad tasting sauce, honestly. It's not bad enough that I would stop using it if it weren't so incredibly salty. And that part is, I just find really obnoxious. So it limits how much I can use it. And when something's on the balance like this, where it's not a great tasting sauce to begin with, I think that really works against it. So we've got a Red Baron deep dish Hawaiian style pizza here, and we're just going to use this nice, and we'll use it across the whole thing. Just don't want to use too much because I don't enjoy cold hot sauce on a hot pizza. I find that jarring. I don't like the hot and cold on pizza at the same time. So here's kind of what we're looking at. So with these guys, I can't quite tell what this is meant to be. If it's meant to be just a novelty sauce, or if they're actually trying to make a good sauce here. I think they're trying to make a good sauce here, and that's how they're using this to spike up the heat. But the heat spike is it's flash heat, right? It's there 1 minute, gone the next. Here today, gone today, kind of a thing. Except, I mean, it just doesn't really have, like, in the time I've been talking to you here, waiting for the sauce to warm up on the pizza, there's little bits. I can get little traces, sort of towards the back of my mouth a little bit, and a little bit on my lips where I must have hit it. Outside of that, I'm really not getting any sort of heat at all, and it's not like, you know, I've been talking to you guys for hours and hours and hours. All right, let's see if this is warmed up now. It should be fine. On pepperoni pizzas, because pepperoni is a little bit of a salty meat, I think it actually shows up a little bit less. But on this one, even though ham's a bit of a salty thing, where you have the fruit of the pineapple, it is starting to make itself known again. Yeah, I'm really getting a lot of the saltiness now. This actually, with those floral notes, is not enjoyable on this pizza. I mean, this is one that it's going to be binned at the conclusion of this video. It just is not. I think the design suffers. Whereas Lola's, they're basically just adding one thing to a base sauce. This one is adding more than one thing. I don't think you can do that. And the base sauce is not that great to begin with. So this has become a chore. You know, now we're in the age of COVID and everything where a lot of us are eating the same foods over and over again. And this is really where stuff like this, I think, starts to get to be of interest to people, where they try to find ways to make things new again. Or at least different. And so there's an opportunity here, and I think coming through with a bad sauce is not the thing to do. Yep, that was honestly pretty awful. So I can't recommend these Diablo peppers. This one, actually, I was starting to get a little bit more. Now, to me, this is starting to build enough that it's pushing towards a 3, I would say. So I might consider re-rating this, because it is starting to have more of a charge than in the past, and which is really weird because I've been agitating it the entire time. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't have enough of it, and it's kind of hard to get past the taste of it, to be honest with you guys. But again, it's a flash, so if I continue talking here in another minute, it'll probably be gone. Which, in fact, it's fading now as I speak. So, if you eat enough of this, like with any super hot, you can get it to be noticeable. But this one, I think, it's just hard to see where I would ever. It's not a good tasting sauce, I wouldn't keep it. But even with that, it's not clear where you'd put something like this because it's not great on Mexican food. It's okay-ish, but I would generally rather have something else. And just that the hot sauce field is really, really saturated. Take Burn Your Tongue, for instance. He's got almost 700 sauces on his shelf right now. And like if you look at some of the online stores, that's more than some of the online stores offer. Imagine that, right? But also think of 700 individual sauces, and there's a number of brands that Roger isn't covering at all right now. Even without those, he's still pushing 700. So there's just I hate to say we're in a glut, but there's a lot of sauces out there. And, even myself, as of this, I'm well over 200 individual sauces reviewed just since I've been doing the blog. And still, I'm not even touching a fraction of stuff. I've got exclusions myself as well, too, which doesn't help. But even outside of that, you start looking at how competitive it is out there, and just, you can't, it's hard right now, I think, for sauce makers. You can't come with goofy labels like this. You can't come with inadequate sauces. Not anymore. And this, sad to say, unfortunately, is one of them. But there you go. Cactus Candy Company's Diablo Scorpion Pepper Sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.